welcome to this special edition of ThePrint. We have a special guest with us, National Vice President of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Baijayant Panda. Welcome, sir. He's also the national in charge of Assam and Delhi. Well, Delhi has been witnessing intense politics in the past few weeks with the Aam Aadmi Party and Delhi BJP both trying to outweigh each other. So we have with us Mr. Panda, who will answer not only questions on Delhi but national politics too. But let's begin with the first question, sir. BJP has been, building a lot of pressure on the Aam Aadmi Party, whether it is in terms of corruption, the scam that the BJP has been talking about, whether it is the education sector, the health sector. Is it because, that BJP now thinks that AAP is a threat beyond Delhi and we need to tackle them?
Look, BJP hasn't become the world's largest political party accidentally. It has worked over 4 generations through global renowned leadership. Our current leader, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, repeatedly gets acknowledged as the most popular leader in the world. He has taken India to the world stage with much more influence, with much more acceptance than ever before. So that is not at all a reason that we are bothered by any party's alleged growth. The reality is that the Aam Aadmi Party is built on lie after lie after lie after lie, and that is not sustainable. At some point, all those lies have to get exposed, and they are getting exposed. This is a party that started on the shoulders of an anti-corruption movement. Mm-hmm. And you should look at what Anna Hazare ji has just now said. He has written a letter to the Delhi Chief Minister, and your viewers should see the contents of that letter, how this party has betrayed that movement. The corruption scandals they have attempted for several years to suppress, now they're all tumbling out. The excise policy liquor scam is a huge scam. And what has happened is they changed the policy in a manner, they hugely increased the number of liquor vends, and they allowed liquor vends to come up in front of gurdwaras, in front of temples, near schools. These are all illegal. They broke zoning laws by allowing liquor vends in buildings which do not permit that. As per their own written, then they allowed contracts to be given to liquor wholesalers who were blacklisted by the Delhi government itself. Now, these things don't happen just in the air. They happen because of corruption. They happen because of kickbacks. And similarly, there are many exposes that are coming out. They go around beating their drum about the schools and the education system, but just compare what the RTI says and what they claim. Now, the RTI is of their own government, and you'll see the stark contrast. They claim about their mohalla clinics, which did not do anything in the COVID pandemic. They remained shut. They did not give a single vaccination. We can go on and on and on and on. Now, finally, what is happening is when all these things are tumbling out, the skeletons are tumbling out, and they are being investigated, you can see the panic. They are trying to stir mud and throw mud at everything else, but they are not answering these questions.
But they are claiming that, they are not at fault. And Manish Sisodia is saying that, CBI could not find anything when they tried to search, at his residence. And he's saying that if he's done anything, why is he not being arrested?
I think Manish Sisodia ji and Aam Aadmi Party have become experts at giving themselves clean chits. And they have tried to fool people for many years. The reality is that you should ask this question of them. Media should pursue these cases. Now, how come liquor vends were allowed in buildings where the zoning law says no? How come blacklisted companies were allowed to take over the liquor business in Delhi? Blacklisted by the Delhi government. These are questions you should ask. Now, Delhi ministers can give themselves clean chits. But another minister who used to take the same stand has been in jail for months, and the courts are not giving them bail. Now, investigations have a process that have to be followed, because contrary to the image that some people try to spin. There is no witch hunting. There is no, misuse of any of these authorities. The reality is that evidence has to be corroborated, evidence has to be backed up, and that is being done. And, if he has such a great wish to get arrested, I'm sure that wish will be fulfilled soon.
The delimitation exercise is almost complete, and so when can we expect the municipal elections? The Aam Aadmi Party has been claiming that it is because BJP was scared of losing the municipal polls that they, tried to unify and push the elections further as much as they could.
Look, the BJP has won the municipal elections repeatedly. We have a very, very strong base at the local level. The Aam Aadmi Party, because it has misused state policies and state coffers, has been trying to do the same thing with the municipal corporation. The BJP is not at all scared. We are, we look at our position. Look at the vote share. Yes, we may have lost the state election last time, but our vote share has kept on increasing. And we have won all 7 MP seats in Delhi. That's not it at all. Everybody knows that the municipal corporation was split because of an earlier Congress regime where they did not want a leadership to come up that could be on par with the chief minister. Now, those were personal agendas, and it does not make sense for a city to have so many different municipal corporations. Particularly, you could see the vast disparities between the South Delhi Municipal Corporation, the East Delhi. You could see those vast disparities, and that's not fair to the people of Delhi. It also is not fair to duplicate and triplicate the infrastructure and the overheads and the staff. It's just wasteful expenditure. So this was very much necessary. Delimitation was very much necessary, and delimitation is an open process. People have an option to make their comments, and all parties are making their comments, including us and others. So that is just their way of trying to spin any news, good news, bad news. They try to spin it in their own way. It's just false.
Well, you mentioned Delhi elections, since 1998. It's been almost over, 24 years, and the BJP has not been able to come to power in Delhi. Why is that? And keeping that in mind, how difficult is your assignment as the BJP, Delhi in charge?
Let me repeat. We have been sweeping by winning all the MP seats in Delhi. We have repeatedly, multiple times, 3 times in a row, we have won the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. And you're right, we have not won the state election for a variety of reasons. The last few years, now look at this current government. It has resorted to the kind of wanton freebies, the same kind of policies that has led to Sri Lanka's collapse, the same kind of policies that many other countries are facing dire situation. They don't care about the future of Delhi. They don't care about the future of Delhi's citizens. They want to misuse the authority that they have in the state government for keeping themselves in power. So we will counter that, and we will counter that with proper policies, helping people where help is genuinely needed, but not wantonly misusing state government finances to win elections like they have been doing. We will counter that.
Well, you did mention Lok Sabha elections. Yes, BJP has been winning that, and people say that Modi magic seems to be working there. You always end up winning all the 7 seats. But what about state assembly election? Why is Modi magic not working there?
Look, I think we discussed this a little bit earlier. Of course, Prime Minister Modi is not going to be the Chief Minister of the state, and there will always be differences in voting at the municipal level and the state level and the national level.
So is there a leadership crisis in Delhi?
Not at all. See, the leadership of Modi ji, the leadership of our party president JP Nadda ji, the leadership of Amit Shah ji, these all count. They do help us in Delhi. And we do have leaders in Delhi. We have members in the union ministry. We have had cabinet ministers. We have had very popular personalities who are today serving as MPs and MLAs. There is no leadership crisis. We will win Delhi.
We see that, in Gujarat as well as Himachal elections, the issues related to Delhi, whether it is the power related subsidy or the water or infrastructure or the recent, the scams and corruption that BJP claims that has, come up, they are being showcased there. So how Delhi BJP is sort of working as the nodal, they keep on providing these videos and all of that. How is that functioning?
First of all, I want to point something out to media.
Yeah.
When it comes to Aam Aadmi claims, which are repeatedly being exposed by RTI, you don't call them claims. But when it comes to the scams of Aam Aadmi Party, you say BJP claims.
No, once...
Because there are, look, so you have to have a balance in reporting this. The reality is, Aam Aadmi Party's claims on their education model has been exposed repeatedly. Please look at the RTI reports. Please look at the papers which have been sent by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor to the investigating agencies. Aam Aadmi Party's claims about their health model. They didn't build a single hospital in Delhi for 8 years. And we saw the reality of what happened because of that during the COVID crisis. Now, these are not BJP allegations. These are facts. Now, it's not a BJP allegation that the number of liquor vends was increased drastically. It is not a BJP allegation that blacklisted liquor wholesalers were given the contract. These are not allegations. These are facts. So you have to report that properly. Now, as far as the Aam Aadmi Party's claims, yes, they are trying to go and spin a yarn in other states that they have got this heaven situation in Delhi, which is not the case. Now look at what is happening in Punjab. They spun the same yarn. They have gone there and announced freebies. Now we have reached a situation in less than 6 months of them taking the charge of the government that government employees are not getting paid. You are seeing that they are having riots on the streets with the same people with whom they were aligned just a few months ago in doing protests. So people should go to Punjab and see what is happening. They are in bed with separatists. So they will try all these things. The reality is people of Gujarat, people of Himachal and other states are also going to get the real facts of Delhi, of Punjab, and that is causing the Aam Aadmi Party a great deal of bother.
But is there greater interaction between the state units and, sort of sharing literature, the videos that, on the liquor scam and all that we keep on seeing on Twitter? Is it being shared with the other units also?
Well, in today's day and age, with or without coordination, everybody gets to see everything. In the last 2 weeks, you have seen a couple of sting operations in Delhi, which blatantly expose the corruption. While you keep calling it a BJP allegation, liquor dealers are openly saying that they have given money to Aam Aadmi Party and hundreds of crores. So this obviously is not seen only in Delhi. It is being seen in Gujarat. It is being seen in Himachal Pradesh. And of course, we are a national party. I will coordinate with my counterparts in other states and share information with them and get them to come here and see what's happening.
Well, you maintain that there is no leadership crisis in Delhi, but we keep on hearing about the infighting that goes on. And, at least Aam Aadmi Party keeps saying that Arvind Kejriwal is our face. Who is BJP's face in Delhi? See, BJP being the largest national party, we have a lot of choices. The reality is the Aam Aadmi Party doesn't have a choice. What are those choices?
So in Punjab, for instance, they have got a remote control chief minister. Everybody knows the situation in Punjab. We have plenty of choices. We have a system of choosing our leader, and we are a democratic party. Aam Aadmi Party is not a democratic party. It's controlled by one person, and they decide who will be their dummy. That's not how it works in BJP. And when the time comes, we will have an appropriate choice.
And announce it?
We will have an appropriate choice at the right time.
Okay, let's take you back to your home state, Odisha. The BJP seems to have virtually given up. The aggression that we see in other states, that seemed to be missing in Odisha right now. Why?
In fact, that's not true. In recent months, the BJP has started renewed efforts in Odisha. Just recently, we have concluded our 3-day state-level training exercise, which happens all over the country in every state, and senior national leaders had gone there and spoken, and you can monitor what they have said. There is no lack of intent at all in the BJP's plans for Odisha. You see, over the years, the BJP has come to second position. It used to be that Congress originally was in the first position. For last 2 decades, Congress was in second position. But from the last election cycle, the BJP is a clear number 2 with a fairly narrow gap from the party that is in government there. So this is a process, and it's not a fluke, it's not a flash in the pan. It has happened with us growing our number of MPs quite dramatically. It has happened with us growing our number of MLAs in Odisha quite dramatically. If you look at the kind of exercises that are going on in Odisha by the party to strengthen the party at the grassroots level, to take our national programs to every nook and corner of Odisha, you can go and see there's a buzz. I would encourage you to go and visit Odisha. You'll see the buzz that's happening.
But then what happened during the Panchayat and the Zilla Parishad poll? The BJP did not perform the way, it had done earlier. So what exactly organizationally is there something, going wrong or some changes that are required?
So you are right that the BJP, we did less well in the Panchayat elections some months ago than in the last cycle. But our vote share is more or less very similar.
Okay.
Now, local elections, whether they're Panchayat elections or they're by-elections, usually are dominated by the party which is in government in the state. And that's the factor that we have seen at play there. But the fact that our vote share has not been impacted very significantly shows that the BJP has a core strength. People are wanting to vote for the BJP. I think the current lead up to the next election cycle, you will see dramatic changes in Odisha. I have no doubt whatsoever that we will form the government in Odisha and win a majority of the MP seats next time around.
At the same time, some critics notice that there has been a softening towards, BJD, Mr. Patnaik. Is it because BJP sees them as a potential ally, or is it because PM shares a cordial relation with him? The way, other chief ministers are targeted, he is not.
No, look, the targeting that you talk about, I suppose you mean investigations, and those depend on investigative agencies. Let's not get confused between party and government. Mm-hmm. We are, despite what media tries to claim and spin, the ethics of government and the ethics of that separation between party and government is very scrupulously followed by the BJP. Now, what the investigative agencies will do, we as a party cannot influence. We can do grassroots movements. We have been doing grassroots movements against, there have been these rape and murder cases of women and minor girls in Odisha. We have been organizing protest rallies. We have been organizing gheraos. We have been on the ground as a party fighting against that decline in law and order situation and many other issues. As far as the investigative agencies go, they will depend on what evidence they find. It will depend on corroboration of those evidence. Now, as far as you mentioned the Prime Minister or other ministers, now there is a parampara of governance that we honor. When the Prime Minister talks about cooperative federalism, he means it. You can see that whenever there's a natural disaster, and Odisha has many, virtually every year, the Prime Minister reaches out and helps Odisha without thinking that whether it is a BJP government there or some other government, and this is true of every other state. We have the Prime Minister and the NDA government in the nation has done the same thing for West Bengal, has done the same thing for Maharashtra when it was not, when it did not have BJP in government. So this principle of cooperative federalism should not be misrepresented as some kind of a political alignment. Our party stands for certain ideology. We do politics in a very straightforward manner, and we will continue to do that.
Well, while you are largely confined to Delhi and your other national, engagements, and obviously you do concentrate on your former Lok Sabha constituency, what about Odisha? Who is the face of the party in Odisha?
So you keep coming back to this question of who is the face. I think, the media in India is living in a time warp because they are stuck with Congress, which has the same family, the same face, the same two people have been president alternately for last 25 years. You are stuck with Aam Aadmi Party, which is a one-man party, and it's got the same face. Now look at the BJP. Our face at the national level, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has come up from the lowest levels. This can't happen in any other party. that without a family background in politics, first generation politician, coming from humble background, he has come up here. Before that, we've had national leaders like Atalji, Advaniji and others. How did they come up? Not because they had a uncle or a father in politics. So let's not get hung up on that. Just like we have created, look at the faces that we have got around the country. Wherever we have chief ministers, look at them. They have come up through hard work. They have come up through struggle. They have come up through standing up for what the BJP stands up for, which is a strong India, which is a prosperous India, which is an inclusive India, sabka saath, sabka vikas. So we will come up with the appropriate face in Odisha as required. We have done so in Assam. We have done so in other states. We will find the right appropriate leadership.
Let's move on to a bit of national politics. You must have seen the Gyanvapi issue where, the district court judge rejected the Muslim side of the argument and at the same time maintained that, the right to worship Hindu deities by Hindus was maintainable. So just wanted to understand, how do you see it, considering individual leaders have spoken on the issue, but the party, BJP, has not said anything on the matter?
Look, the BJP respects the constitution. We are a responsible party. We respect the judicial system and the judicial process. Since the matter is in courts, it's really not appropriate for us to make comments on this issue. Let the process go through. There should be no interference. There should be no second guessing. It is in the courts of law. I'm sure it will have further developments in the courts. So it's not proper for us to comment in such a manner.
But the Places of Worship Act is something, there are many petitions in the court. You have complete majority at the center, a number of BJP leaders, VHP, RSS, they've been talking about, either a repeal or an amendment. So why not take that up?
Look, I think that may be a misrepresentation. Many people try to create this situation as if there is a divide or a provocation. The leader of the RSS, Mohan Bhagwat ji, has made it very clear that one shouldn't go around seeking to find divisions in society and in religious places. I have a personal opinion here that we have a history in India which had seen a lot of barbarism, which had seen a lot of atrocities, and there had been an effort by many to just sweep that under the carpet. Now, that's not how you find healing. We must find ways which are honorable, which are just, and which don't seek to just ignore history as if it never happened. There is an ecosystem that has existed in India that has tried to twist history, that has tried to misrepresent history. You saw how in the case of Ayodhya, so-called historians actively suppressed data and facts to try to spin a particular political line, despite archaeological evidence, despite so many other things. So we should have a viewpoint that these things are very sensitive. And since it is in court, let us not try to be provocative about it. Let the courts take their own opinion.
Well, you just mentioned that, Prime Minister Modi has been working equally for all states, and the BJP government also focuses on that. But, certain minorities claim that they are being targeted. And if you look at recently Uttarakhand or Assam, the survey of madrasas has been a sort of a focal point, and they claim that, they are being targeted.
Again, this is a part of a narrative that is being promoted by certain sections. I can tell you, when our government's motto is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas, we really mean it. You can look at the hundreds of government schemes. You can look at the hundreds of millions of Indians who have been helped by all these government schemes, and you will not find one case of discrimination. There has not been a single case where anybody has been discriminated because of their religion or their caste or so on and so forth. So the huge overwhelming facts say one thing, and certain people trying to promote a narrative say something else. Now, you talked about these issues of the madrasas in Assam. Look, nobody should be able to misuse a place of religious education to foster separatism and terrorism. Now, unfortunately, some such places have been misused. It
in
does
India?
not. In India, in Assam. Why do you? If you look at Assam, what is happening is some of these people, their direct links have been exposed to terrorists, to organizations which have targeted India and have carried out assaults and attacks in India. Now, this does not speak about the community as a whole. It's these specific places, these specific individuals who have done it. That should not be misread as being against a community. Even the Muslim community in Assam are very clear that they do not tolerate any of these elements who are fraternizing with terrorists. So that should not be misrepresented in the media. Wherever there is a clear-cut evidence where links are established to these kind of organizations, action must be taken, because that's just not legal. It's against the state. It's against the constitution.
So we'll see more in the coming few days?
It depends. I mean, there's not a blanket decision to target any such institution. Only where there is a clear established connection between the people there and terrorist organizations, then action will be taken.
Well, another important aspect of BJP is that it had a number of allies when it first came to power, and now with the exit of Nitish, virtually there is no one, almost no one. Why is it that BJP is not able to hold on to its allies, or it thinks that it doesn't need them?
I want to add one more thing about the Northeast that you added.
Yes.
Look at what has happened in the Northeast. The Prime Minister has visited more than 50 times, more than all his predecessors put together. The Northeast is seeing more development than it has ever imagined. Railways for the first time in Tripura and in Manipur, drinking water in every home, the kind of development that's happening. And most importantly, all these separatists, most of the separatist organizations, their issues have been resolved. The Bodo issues have been resolved. Just yesterday, another group of disenchanted people, their issues have been resolved and agreements signed. The same thing with many other tribal and other previously marginalized groups. Their issues have been resolved. So the BJP is reaching out, the BJP governments are reaching out. This has been all done under the initiatives taken by Home Minister Amit Shah, and resolving all these issues. Now, you talked about allies. It must be pointed out to your viewers that the BJP has never broken an alliance. Whether it was the BJD in 2009, or it was the Akali Dal, or it was Shiv Sena, it was they who broke the alliance. Many people will tell you, if you investigate, you will find out that in some of these cases, the BJP would have done better to actually dump those allies. But the BJP works on principle, and the BJP stuck through with allies who, some of them had actually lost some of their popularity, and ultimately some of them chose to break ties with the BJP. Now, be that as it may, the BJP is committed to a strong and prosperous India that is good for every citizen, for all sections of society. Now, I think some of the allies who had parted ways may be having second thoughts or may not, that I can't speak for them. But the BJP has never broken any alliance.
But we do see all these allies sort of, coming together and forming a Mahagathbandhan. There's a Bharat Jodo Yatra by the Congress that is going on, all preparing for the 2024.
So we have seen these Mahagathbandhans before, and these parties coming together before. You saw the Mahagathbandhan or some version of it in the last 2 elections in Uttar Pradesh. What happened? Each time the media reported, look at this combination. But elections are not about arithmetic. They are about policies, and they are about principles, and they are about chemistry. And you saw that those massive alliances did not work in Uttar Pradesh. We heard the same thing about Maharashtra, but that totally illogical alliance by parties which had been ideologically opposed to each other for so many decades, it collapsed under its own weight. Any time in the last 2 years, you could have gone to Maharashtra, everybody would have told you that it was a mess, there was massive corruption, and it could not survive, and it did not survive. So this is not something that worries us. Now, most of these parties are dynastic parties. They believe in dynastic succession, they believe in a sense of entitlement. And the BJP represents an existential threat for these parties, because the BJP is not a dynastic party. People in the BJP rise through merit. And I can understand their panic as the BJP grows. Now, this Bharat Todo Yatra that you're talking about.
Bharat Jodo Yatra.
No, I mean the Bharat Todo Yatra. You know, it consists of people who are fraternizing with those who have been on video. I'm sure your channel must have also shown some of those videos which talks about Bharat ke tukde tukde. Now, so they are on record as wanting to do tukde tukde of Bharat. So, and the kind of, the violence that is being exhorted by this, the leaders of this Bharat Todo Yatra, you can see they are trying to provoke, they are trying to incite people. They are coming out with rather heinous visuals of setting fire to people. It's not acceptable to the people of India. And the people of India have realized that these kind of shenanigans are not going to work.
But the way the BJP always targets Rahul Gandhi, you say that, the Congress is nowhere, it's a dynasty party, it's almost over. But whenever they do anything, politically, the entire BJP, gets on to
Look, the BJP doesn't target Rahul Gandhi ji. We have no need to. Let him be more active. Many people in the BJP will tell you that it actually helps us quite a lot because of what he stands for. The BJP is not bothered about any particular individual, particularly an individual who, he has gone and got his party to sign an MOU with China. When there is a war on the front, he goes and meets the ambassadors of the warring country. This is a person who goes all over the world and tries to incite and provoke people against India. Not against the BJP, against India. The more he does that, look, the track record is there to see. It is not the BJP saying it. Your people, I'm sure your viewers are aware, I'm sure you are aware, what Rahul Gandhi ji has done to the Congress. We have a avowed position that we want to make Bharat Congress Mukt. But it seems so does he.
Well, one last question as far as Delhi is concerned. What is the roadmap for Delhi as far as the Delhi BJP is concerned, and what all can we expect from you in the coming few months?
You can see the Delhi BJP being very active on the ground. You can see the Delhi BJP taking to the people the real cases of corruption. These are not BJP's allegations. The facts are there that I've pointed out by the Aam Aadmi Party and its ministers. You can see the BJP exposing the fraudulent claims of the Aam Aadmi Party when it comes to their so-called education model. Just look at the RTI reports when it comes to their mohalla clinics which don't do vaccinations and so on and so forth. You can see that in recent by-elections, the BJP has improved its performance quite dramatically. So the prospects for the BJP are looking very good in Delhi.
Thank you so much for answering all our questions, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.